our video. Today, as you can tell, we are doing another stock market ramble, and I felt like it was appropriate today. I've had some requests on community posts or like older videos. Hey, when are you gonna give another stock market ramble? And I just have been kind of putting it aside. I haven't done one since we moved into the house. The last one that I did was back in the apartment before I sold a bunch of my stock to, of course, afford the down payment for this house. A little bit of a backstory on me. I bought my first townhouse when I was just out of college, a year out of college. I lived at home for a year, saved up money to buy a house, and that was in 2017. If you're familiar with the housing market kind of boomed, and I made a really pretty big profit on my house, and most of the funds that you will see today is from the purchase and selling of that house. Now, fast forward, I moved to North Carolina, lived in an apartment for 2 years with my now fiance, and of course now we have bought this house together. So it's a little bit of a backstory on me. So if you are wondering, where all of this came from, the majority of what you're about to see is from. I won't say it's all luck. It wasn't, because I've worked hard. I used to, I had a 9 to 5 for many years. I worked hard. I've worked hard all my life, and I definitely feel like I have earned the things that I have. But I don't want this to come off as like flaunting or anything, and I definitely don't want people to think this money just came out of thin air. So, all right. So there's my disclaimer. We're going to talk about the stocks, talk about what the market is doing today. Might get into the election a little bit. If we do, it'll be towards the end. I still have yet to kind of think about what I would even want to say. But if by the end of the video I feel like getting into it, then I'll get into it. But if you're new to the channel and you like this kind of thing, or if you just like the voices that you're hearing, the soothing whisper up close, maybe you're not big in the stock market, but you're like, hey, this guy's got a pretty nice voice, then by all means subscribe. I do mostly gaming content on this channel, but from time to time we do something a little new, do something out of left field, like today. I also haven't done a Zillow video in a long time. I definitely wanted to get back into the Zillow videos. It's been a while. Again, I haven't done one since we moved into this house. And if you're a returning subscriber, do not forget to hit that like button before you sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's video. So here we have our heat map of our portfolio structure. Basically, this is just a visual representation of how your positions are doing. If it's green, obviously that's a good thing. If it's red, obviously a bad thing. We'll go, stock by stock. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I own and what I'm currently swinging. I've got my watch list here. Tesla up almost 15% today. Surprise, surprise. Other stocks doing very well as well. Some stocks doing bad. First, I think this is solar. First Solar, I think is the name of this company. Down 10%. Again, surprise, surprise. So, I will show you guys basically what I look at from a day-to-day basis. This screen here, and you can't quite see. I know my screen's my webcam is kind of covering some things up. This is the I think it's the 1 minute chart or the 5 minute chart. I can't remember. Let's see if I maximize this cell. Okay, so it's the 1 minute chart for Trade Desk, the S&P OUSA, which is Kevin O'Leary's ETF fund. Snowflake. Down here we have Magnite. Here we have ACGL and AFL. AFL is Aflac. ACGL is Arch something Capital. I can't remember. It's one of my swings I got going on right now. I have CLS and Virgo, Celestica and Virgo. So these are basically the stocks that I care to look at on a day-to-day basis. It's not my entire portfolio, but it's basically anything that I'm currently either swinging or just kind of like want to see, at any given time. So we can go over here, and I have it set up to where if you want to, so here is MG&I, for example, Magnite. This is, if you've been watching my content for a long time, you know that I've been in Magnite for like probably over 5 years now. You have the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute chart, the daily chart, and then I think this is the daily chart, but a little bit more zoomed down. Yeah, and then the monthly chart, maybe, or hourly. I think this is hourly. And then, yeah, I can't remember how I set it up. Really, all I check is the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the daily. And truth be told, I pretty much only look at the daily now. This is, each one of these candle bars is representative of one single day. So this is what we've done today. This is what we did yesterday. This is what we did the day before, and so on. But if you take a look, I currently have 4 options positions open, and they are absolutely booming today, guys. They are absolutely booming. Overall sentiment across the entire market is just very, very good. And we'll kind of go, stock by stock here in a little bit. I do want to take a look at a little bit more in-depth look at certain charts. Probably of these options, but also of different stocks as well. I want to go in and chart out the trend lines for pretty much all of my holdings today on TradingView, which is another website that I use. Here you can see, and I've got a memes folder, but I don't currently own any memes. Talking about like GameStop, AMC, stuff like that. I've got 3 ETFs that I'm currently in, that I've been in since I sold my home. OUSA, which I previously mentioned, is Kevin O'Leary's dividend ETF fund. This is, or at least was, my biggest holding for a long time. It's my favorite ETF that I own. It pays monthly dividends, meaning every month I get paid just for holding this stock or holding this fund, and it's around like 6 cents a share. So really quick, we can take a calculator and do 0.06 times 544.8708. I make about $32 a month just for holding this ETF, and that's not including how much the stock actually goes up. I just simply get paid $32 for holding the stock, which is, you guys have heard me talk about dividends before. Dividends are really, really, really passive. It's like the definition of passive income. But I also have the S&P and QQQ, which actually I've been selling off SPY and QQQ to buy more like growth stocks, because I've been getting a little bit more aggressive lately. And with what I'm buying, I do a lot more growth stock investments, which is a complete 180 from probably the last video that I've uploaded. Or maybe a year ago I was doubting about how dividends were the wave, and they are the wave. I love dividend investing, I really do. And as you can see down here, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different stocks that are paying a dividend. And I probably will not sell any of these anymore that I already have. I did cut, what was it? I had at one Pfizer, I cut that. I had Johnson & Johnson, I cut that. I'm trying to think of other things that I've cut since the last time we spoke. Caterpillar, I made an absolute killing on Caterpillar. It was one of the best companies that I bought. But as far as the swings go, we have Verk, CLS, ACGL, AFL, MG&I, Snow, TTD, and Uber. Uber, I think, is the only company. Well, Uber and Walmart. Surprise! That's actually surprising. Walmart is red today. But you can sort by, you can see CLS. Man, I bought CLS. I bought CLS calls, Celestica calls, around like $40 or $30. I think it was like $45 a share when we bought them originally, and we bought $40 calls back. Let's see, you can actually probably see on September 9th. Wow, that actually wasn't that long ago. So, September 9th, that was almost 2 months ago, and we bought it for an average of $8.28. And now they're worth $39. I wish I still had more of these. I'm probably going to turn around and execute these calls. And that'll give me 500 shares of Celestica, which I can then turn around and do my covered call, or my selling leap calls strategy that I've talked about in the past. We can go and look at CLS calls for like, let's look at like March, $110 calls. Yeah, look at that. $110 calls in March are going for $2.10. So here you can see the CLS chart, and I think the next set of earnings. Okay, so wait, earnings January 25th. Okay, so earnings will be in January. Honestly, I would probably buy January like 100. See, that's a little sketchy too. I don't know when I plan on selling these calls. I'll probably hold these $40 calls up until like the day of, and I'll probably execute them like the week of, just to be sure that I execute them properly. I will execute them, and of course that'll give me 200 more shares of CLS, so that'll bring me to 500 shares of CLS, and based on when, what the stock price is, I'll probably do like March $110 calls, and I can sell 5, so we'll take our calculator here again. 5 times 2.05 is $10.25, and of course times that by 100 shares, that would be $1,000 that I would make just for selling those calls, and I have the shares to back it up. If by March the stock was at $110 a share, I would have 500 shares, and my 500 shares I could sell for $55,000. So I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool with doing that, obviously. And then, of course, if it wasn't worth $110 a share come March, I could turn around and sell $110, April calls, or $110 June calls, and I could keep doing it every month until I eventually get called on it, and then sell my position. But that is my strategy, at least with Celestica. We can move on, though. I want to go. I can do that technically with any of these companies that I own over 100 shares with, and that's kind of why I've got over 100 shares of Uber, over 100 shares of TTD, over 100 shares of Snow, and 1,700 shares of MG&I. I can go and we can take a look at these charts, and if you're wondering what website this is tradingview.com. Tradingview.com. It's a free. I use the fair value gap script, I guess, which is why you see all of these like fair value gap squares, like green and red squares. I'm not going to go into what fair value gaps are, but man, it's been a while since we've talked about all this. I'm kind of just winging it, to be honest. So as you can see, we have pretty strong support. This is the daily chart, by the way, and this line is not really the best now that I'm looking at it. Not really the best. We could probably go like that, get it a little bit tighter. Yeah, a little bit tighter. So we are kind of towards the support line, which to me is like a really good. And again, these lines are kind of off as well. Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but you know, it gives you a little bit of an idea of the highs and lows of what to expect over the next, couple weeks or so, a couple months, I don't even. To be honest, you could say, as long as it stays in this channel, it could go on like this forever, until it breaks one way or the other. But I do like buying when it's, in a fair value gap here. It came down, it touched the fair value gap, and it shot back up. Once we close these gaps, we should be able to go even higher, hopefully to, $15, $16, $17 a share. That'd be nice. We can take a look at snow as well. Snow looks even better, simply because it looks like it is about to break out. And I would say as long as earnings next week are good, and if I can get there, okay, as long as earnings, why can I not? No, stop it. Oh, that's why. Wait. Why is it happening? It's like not letting me like click on the earnings because it's so close. Let me see if I can just like, there we go. Wednesday, November 20th, so it's another 2 weeks, but it gives you the estimate, and I just realized it might be covered up by my webcam, but yeah, as long as those earnings go well, this stock right here has so much potential, so much room to run. We can go and look at the 1-year price target, 165. Again, it's at 120 right now. That's about $45 a share in profit in 1 year's time. So looking about like 30% growth. I'm just eyeballing. I'm just guesstimating there. And honestly, that's probably on the conservative side. It's Snowflake is a cloud data center company, so I mean, there's always gonna be a need for that. I want to take a look at ACGL. Oh, actually, I don't know if I've actually. Okay, yeah. So I drew some lines here, but I need to get rid of them. Now, okay. It seems like we've actually gotten back over that line, and then this line we're gonna chart out a little bit further. Yeah, I don't know if those are the best. I don't know if that's the best. Oh man, this thing goes like way back. You can almost see a perfect straight line there. And then I want to bring this one even further back as well. Let's go like there. Oh yeah. Oh, we're going all the way. Wow, that's actually incredible. That is actually an incredible line. Holy smokes. And it almost falls perfectly in line with that. I did not even know that before buying this stock. This line here, trend lines are obviously, they're not, foolproof. They're not, 100% accurate all the time. But I mean, it's funny to me burst. You know, it was in free fall from 116 all the way down to 95, and it hit that line, and now we're bouncing back. Of course, the election probably had a big thing to do with that, but still, that is a really strong support line right there. And that I was completely unaware of until we just drew that. So let's take a look at Aflac. Aflac is, let's see if we can find something similar here. Trend line. Wow, we're actually really inflated on Aflac, I would say. And then let's maybe go from like here to, it's hard to see. Actually, wait a minute. Well, it's hard to plot out these trend lines. Honestly, there's probably many smaller trend lines. Like you can kind of see a trend line like here, which you could then say you could extend it out, and you could say we broke that trend. And maybe we're coming back to retrace, to retest it. But I mean, there's very obviously, like, it bounced. And then, of course, there was a bad earnings, and then it kind of came back, bounced off there. See, you can kind of see the trend, and there was an obvious, clear breakout here. This is where you would have obviously wanted to buy back in August. You know, you get the clear breakthrough, and of course it was on an earnings day, so you had the breakthrough. It retraced back to the fair value gap. You could have bought here, and you'd be in the driver's seat there. But of course, you know, it's easier to see these things after the fact. Man, I did not realize how good these two looked. Let's go back and let's take a look at VIRC Virgo. I think we already looked at this. Maybe we didn't, but this looks incredible. This is like pretty tight spread. Like it very, very clearly wants to go between these two lines, and you know we're still in the lower half of this. So I'd say if we break this, which it looks like we've already gotten higher than this gap, we need to break through these two gaps, and then we should be able to get to that line up there, close to about $20 a share. That'd be nice. What else? MG&I. Did I already look at MG&I? I think I did, but we'll do it again. MG&I. Yeah, we did. We looked at Snow. Did we look at TTD? I don't think we've looked at TTD. Yeah, I've got older lines here, and then I'll go ahead and delete. This looks like it's breaking out, or it has broken out. Okay. Yeah, you know, there's not really that clear of a trend line there. But honestly, you could probably take this all the way back to like here. I mean, that is we're kind of getting a resemblance of something there. Yeah, I mean, that's probably pretty shoddy work there. But man, if we can keep this up, I don't see how this can sustain. Actually, now that I'm like looking at this. There's no way this is sustainable. Right there. I don't know. I could be wrong. Let's maybe move that there a little bit more. There's not really any support there, but I mean, typically when you draw trend lines, you want to have like at least 3 different spots. 3 different plots of where, you know, your line, 'candle. It's the stock, or like the top of a candle. And then, of course, you want to have like at least 3 different spots of where, you know, your line hits the stock, or like the top of a candle. 3 here. Goldman Sachs is way up today. Let's take a look at that. Wow. Goldman Sachs has been nothing but a money printer for me. Let's take a look. I bought 20 shares back in 2022 at $300 a share, and it's almost at $600 a share, so I'm almost up 100% on Goldman Sachs. And they pay a pretty hefty dividend, if I remember properly. Yeah, it looks like about a 1/10 or 1/8 of a share every quarter, which 1/8 of a share is a pretty considerable amount of money, seeing as a share is about $600 right now. JP Morgan, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Walmart, these are not, these are pretty much everyday companies that we use nowadays. And yeah, I wanted to give you guys an update. Wow, this is by far the most I've ever made in one day. It's not even close. And Apollo wants to make his voice known. We can actually look here. I know my camera is probably covering it up, but guys, I want to remind you that this is not money that I touch. This is money that stays in this account for like when I'm 90, okay? Well, maybe not 90, when I'm like 65. It's clear to me, I will say, as far as like the election goes, I'm not going to say that this is all because of Trump, getting elected. I think that before an election happens, there's a lot of uncertainty on what is going to happen. I did read where they had a Kamala victory kind of baked into the markets. So this was a surprise. So in that sense, maybe it is, maybe we are seeing a huge jump today because of the election results. However, I don't want to say that it was, that it would have been, if it had gone the other way, it would be red. I think with the markets, uncertainty is a bad thing. Certainty is a good thing. Now that we've, gone through the election process and we've now elected Donald Trump, that uncertainty is gone and we can kind of get back to investing. There's probably a little bit more optimism in the markets with Trump being elected. I'm just going to be honest. While we're on the subject, I'm really afraid to say anything just because I don't want to come off as an enemy of anybody. But if you're surprised by last night's outcome, trying to choose my words very, very carefully. Me personally, I was surprised. I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. This is what happens when you underestimate the average American. Truthfully, this is what happens when you downplay their intelligence. It's not a surprise to me that you piss off a bunch of people and they show up at the polls. So that's going to do it for